Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. This is your Tottenham Manchester United preview. It's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's Sunday, 4:30 kick-off. This is a massive game for Manchester United. We recently had a very good win against Granada. We beat them 2-0 in the Europa League quarter-final first leg. 2 away goals and a clean sheet for Manchester United. The goals came from Marcus Rashford. He scored the first one. It was a lovely touch and a lovely finish. And it was a lovely through ball from Victor Lindelof. And the second goal came from Bruno Fernandes from the penalty spot. So it looks like we're heading into the Europa League semi-final. That will be 5 semi-finals under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It was a pretty good performance by Manchester United. The disappointing thing was Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw and McTominay getting suspended, so they're not going to be able to play in the second leg. Shaw, by the way, I think he's got an injury, and so too has Paul Pogba. From a Granada perspective, they'd have been disappointed because they showed very, very little going forward. The best chance they had was when Herrera hit the post, and Kennedy, who was their best player, he had a few long-range shots, and it was straightforward saves for David De Gea. We've got a very, very good chance of winning the Europa League. The Europa League is our only chance of winning any silverware this season. We haven't won a trophy since 2017. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. If we fail to win the Europa League, we know that Solskjaer will not be sacked. So I can assure he will be Man United manager in the summer transfer window, and he'll be Man United manager next season. We got to the Europa League semi-finals last season. We lost 2-1 to Sevilla, and we won it back in 2017 under the Jose Mourinho era. We beat Ajax in the final 2-0. But yeah, this game against Tottenham will be tough. Obviously, Tottenham's current manager is Jose Mourinho. I think at some point Tottenham will sack Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho has now passed his sell-by date. He has got a good pedigree behind him. He's won 25 major honours in his managerial career. When Mourinho was with us, he won the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield. He also got second. I think it was in his first season, so Mourinho endured one good season with Man United. He was with us 2.5 years. The main explanations it didn't work out when we had Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board, bad disputes with the top players, and in general the board weren't backing the signings that he wanted to recommend in. So yeah, on Sunday, Jose Mourinho will be reuniting with Manchester United. Mourinho has been Tottenham manager over the year. He's under contract with them until 2023. I think Tottenham made a mistake by getting rid of Mauricio Pochettino. Pochettino was a very good manager for them, despite him not winning anything at Tottenham. Pochettino endured a 5.5-year tenure at Spurs. Analysing the vast majority of his tenure, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top four, and back in 2019, Pochettino guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. Tottenham have got some very, very good players, that could cause us problems on Sunday. Obviously, Harry Kane, he's one of their best players. We've been linked with Harry Kane for a while now. Now, earlier on this season, it said that Harry Kane refused to commit his future to Tottenham. So, reflecting on that, he dealt Tottenham a major blow. He's delaying his transfer decision until after the Euros. Daniel Levy came out the other week and said he's made a decision on Harry Kane. He says Tottenham will not sell Harry Kane to another Premier League club. David Ornstein spoke about him earlier on this season. He said he spoke to people in football. He said that Harry Kane does want to leave because he's unhappy at Tottenham. He said he's committed to Tottenham whilst he's there, but he wants to win the biggest trophies and he's not experiencing this at Tottenham. Kane is valued at around 150 million. He's regarded as one of the best strikers in the world because he's a prolific goal scorer. And his link-up play, and that's good. Harry Kane has won the Golden Boot a couple of times. He's been at Tottenham 17 years. He's been in their senior squad since 2009. He's got a contract with Tottenham until 2024. He signed a 6-year contract back in 2018. He's had a few loan spells before with Leyton Orient, Millwall, Norwich and Leicester. But yeah, he'll be in contention to play in this one. He sustained a few injuries at Tottenham. Heung-min Son, he's another one of Tottenham's key players. I really, really like him a lot. Lucas Moura, he's also one of Tottenham's key players. Dele Alli, he's also one of Tottenham's key players. He sustained a few injuries at Tottenham. Tottenham have also got that Vinicius. They brought him in last year. Steven Bergwijn, he's also a good player. I think Tottenham got him from PSV, was it? They've got Giovanni Lo Celso. They've got Gareth Bale. I don't see Gareth Bale starting this one. They got him on loan last year. They've got Reguilon. He's made a fantastic impact since he's gone to Tottenham. Tottenham brought him in last year. They've got Holberg. They brought him in last year. They've got Matt Doherty. He's actually out with injury at the moment and they brought him in last year. Joe Hart, they brought him in last year as well. Ben Davies, he's pretty good. I think he's out with injury at the moment. Toby Alderweireld, I really, really rate him. He's a very good centre-half. A few years ago, Man United were in for him. Tottenham have also got Eric Lamela, who I rate a lot. They've got Serge Aurier. They brought him in a few years ago from PSG. They've also got Davinson Sanchez. Danny Rose, he's been at Tottenham a while. I think it was last season he was out on loan with Newcastle. Don't forget, Tottenham let Christian Eriksen go in January last year. Christian Eriksen was a long-serving player for Tottenham. He endured 7 years with them. He went to Inter Milan. You can probably say Tottenham made a mistake by getting rid of him. Jedson Fernandez, I don't think he's no longer with Tottenham. I actually thought he was. I think he's out on loan now. Is it at Galatasaray? Tottenham, they drew their last match against Newcastle 2-2. Now, we drew 1-1 with Tottenham last season at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Earlier on this season, we lost 6-1 to Tottenham at Old Trafford. I think that was the first time we'd lost 6-1 since the 6-1 defeat to Manchester City back in 2011. We did beat them at Old Trafford last season 2-1. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has beaten Jose Mourinho's Manchester United manager, but he's beaten Tottenham a few times. We've had some good games with Tottenham over the years. The two best games that I recall was when we beat them 5-2, when we overcome a 2-goal deficit. I think that game was back in 2009, or was it 2010? And also, that was a good game when we beat them 5-3, when we overcame a 3-goal deficit. That was back in 2001. We've done business with Tottenham before. Don't forget, a long time ago, we got Michael Carrick off them. He was a long-serving player for Man United. And we also got Dimitar Berbatov off them. But it will be interesting to see how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer approaches this game. I'm expecting him to make some changes from the 2-0 win against Granada. Yes, we did win our last league game against Brighton. We beaten them 2-1. Reflecting on that assures us a top 4 finish. There's a very good chance that we'll finish second this season. Tottenham, they're in the top 4 race. They're currently sitting 6th in the Premier League at the moment. After Tottenham, we do play Granada in the second leg. Then it's Burnley. Then it's Leeds. Then it's Liverpool. So games are coming up thick and fast for Man United. I can assure that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer isn't the long-term manager for Manchester United. But I said, didn't I, he does deserve another season, because Solskjaer has made progress in certain aspects. There has been a lot of Man United fans demanding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out. Obviously, they've got main explanations why they've been demanding him out, but there's still quite a few Man United fans that are Ole in, saying that he does deserve more time. He's already agreed a new 3-year contract worth 30 million. It's likely to be 2 years with an option of an extra one. Does he deserve a new contract? In some aspects, yeah. In some aspects, no. I presume a lot of United fans will disagree with us giving him a new contract, because I can't assure he'll see it out. Solskjaer's got 1 year left on his current 3-year contract. Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager over 2 years. Before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff. And his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. Don't forget, Solskjaer managed the Man United reserve team for a couple of years, so he watched some of this team grow and develop. But Solskjaer has gained some managerial experience with how long he's been with us. You know, he's learnt quite a bit on the job and he's tried quite a few different elements. You know, he's tried different formations. You know, he's rotated the squad a lot. My two biggest concerns about Ollie, like I've said before, is that he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. And the other one is his decision making. We've endured very bad periods under Ollie where you can turn around and say, yeah, he was lucky not to be sacked. The main explanation is still Manchester United manager is because he's a club legend. Disregarding being a club legend, I can almost assure he wouldn't have been here now. Solskjaer endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance, and his most iconic moment as a player was when he scored the winner in the Champions League final in 1999. That's obviously when he won the club the treble. But Solskjaer deserves credit in quite a lot of aspects. He really does. Because we have enjoyed good periods under him where we have seen consistency. We've got a very good away record in the Premier League. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. We was 14 games unbeaten before Leicester beat us in the FA Cup quarter-final. You know, Solskjaer has got us to the Europa League semi-final by the looks of things. He got us to the FA Cup quarter-final, got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season, lost 2-0 to City. You know, last season, in his first full season, got us a third place finish, got us qualification for the Champions League and guided us to 3 semi-finals. And I think Solskjaer has made good signings as Manchester United manager. He's spent almost £300 million. He's obviously brought the likes of Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. Also brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odin Igalo in on loan. Igalo's no longer here because he left in January. And also brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Amad Diallo Traore and Facundo Pellistri. Facundo Pellistri went out on loan in January. And I like the way that Solskjaer has promoted the youth. He's got rid of a lot of players since he's come in. We saw a few players leaving the January transfer window. Obviously, Odin Igalo said his farewells to the club. Marcus Rojo left the club. Timothy Fosu-Mensah left. We loaned Facundo Pellistri out and we loaned Jesse Lingard out. And in the other transfer windows, Ollie's endured, he's got rid of a lot of other players. Obviously, seeing Young leave the club. Young was a long-serving player for Man United. I think he endured like 8.5 years. Valencia, he left the club after he endured 10 years at Man United. He was a good right-back. Seeing Smalling leave. Smalling was a long-serving. I think he endured like 9 years at Man United. Saw Darmian leave the club. We made the right decision by getting rid of Darmian. Also let Ander Herrera leave. Maybe it was a mistake to let Ander Herrera go. Also seen Fellaini leave in January 2019. I'm pretty sure he was the first player to leave under Ollie. Also let Sanchez go. It was the right decision to get rid of him. We also got rid of Lukaku. Now, I think we actually should have kept Romelu Lukaku. Angel Gomez, he also left the club. We've also loaned quite a few players out. We loaned Joe Pereira out again for another season. We loaned Tahith Chon out. We loaned James Garner out. We loaned Dylan Levitt out. I think we loaned Dishan Bernard out as well. Loaned Diego Dalot out. Loaned Andres Pereira out. So, yeah. So, there is positivity regarding Solskjaer. I think he is our best manager since Ferguson, put it that way. This year's summer transfer window is absolutely massive for Solskjaer because he knows he needs to get the players he wants to recommend in. Recent reports said that Manchester United will spend big in the summer transfer window, but Solskjaer said he wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. I've already identified the areas where Man United need to strengthen up. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer did warn that we may not do business as usual due to the coronavirus pandemic. But Ole should get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window, because obviously we've got John Murtough, he's our director of football. And we've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. And they both know the club through thick and thin. And Woodward believes Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward. Earlier on this season, Woodward released a statement saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. So in that aspect, Woodward is backing him. And Woodward did say towards the end of last year that he will back him with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. But Woodward's come out several times to show his support for Ole, even when we was enduring them really bad periods. The summer transfer window will be Ole's 5th transfer window as permanent Manchester United manager. But in the summer transfer window, we're going to focus on the incomings and the outgoings. I'm going to give you an update on some more transfer news on my next video I do. Quite a few players are going to leave Man United in the summer transfer window. It looks very, very likely that Cavani's going to be leaving. Footballer Insider have already said that Cavani is willing to take a pay cut to join Boca Juniors. And Boca Juniors are preparing to offer him a 3-year contract. He already has a verbal agreement with Boca Juniors. Now, Marcus Rojo has had conversations with Edinson Cavani over a Boca Juniors move. Rojo has urged Edinson Cavani to quit Man United for Boca Juniors by promising to take him fishing. Not so long ago, we held talks with Edinson Cavani over his future at the club, and we want to convince him to stay. And Ole said earlier on this season he hopes that Edinson Cavani will stay, and he revealed that we had been in contract negotiations with him. Edinson Cavani's current contract expires at the end of the season, but there is an option to trigger his contract for a further year. Ole said earlier on this season that Cavani was closer to Boca Juniors than staying at Manchester United, and his father came out earlier on this season, Cavani's, and said that Cavani's unhappy, he wants to leave, and he's not comfortable in England. Cavani sustained a few injuries at Man United, but I think he's made an impact since he's come in. His hold-up play's been good, he's scored goals, his movement in and out of the box has been good, and he's created chances. But there's been some games where Cavani hasn't got enough service and he's looked isolated. We got him on a free transfer last summer. He signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option of a 2nd year. A lot of United fans are saying that we need to sell Anthony Martial in the summer, because Anthony Martial has been out of form for the vast majority of this season. The chances have been there for him, but he hasn't converted them. But Solskjaer said earlier on this season he's backing Martial to rediscover his form, and he said he's been impressed with his work rate. Martial's out with injury, and Solskjaer said it's likely he will be out for the rest of the season. Sustained the injury whilst he was on international duty with France. If we sell Martial in the summer transfer window, I reckon we'll get around 30 million. He's been at the club over 5 years. I reckon Martial's had 2 good seasons. He was good last season, and he was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. We got Martial in a deal worth 54 million from Monaco. I think it was last season Ollie gave him that number 9 shirt. Juan Mata, I think we'll get rid of him, because Juan Mata's current contract expires in June. There is an option to trigger his contract for a further year. He's lost his place in the team. A while ago. And the element of concern about Mata, he's lost that yard of pace and he is ageing up. Towards the start of this season, Mata rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. But I think he's had a good career at Man United. He's been at the club over 6 years. We got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. Donny van der Beek. I think we need to get rid of him in the summer transfer window. The main explanation is because he's not getting enough opportunities at Manchester United. He didn't start against Granada recently, but he did come on. Ronald de Boer said earlier on this season that Donny van der Beek still feels loved at Man United despite his lack of game time. He's backed him to become a success. Now, it said earlier on this season that Donny van der Beek wants to quit Man United after one season due to his lack of game time, and he said he wanted to hold showdown talks with Ed Woodward over his future. ESPN did say back in January that we rejected several loan offers for Van der Beek because we was reluctant to let him go. Now, it said not so long ago that we are considering a Donny van der Beek swap deal. 2O Sports said we're willing to offer Van der Beek to Juventus in exchange for Rabiot. He's a good player, Van der Beek, though. He hasn't been used enough. Most of his appearances have come from the bench. He's only started 2 games in the league this season. We got him in a deal worth £40 million from Ajax last summer, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Paul Pogba, he could still leave Man United in the summer transfer window, but there again, he could stay potentially past the summer. Now, according to recent reports, Barcelona are interested in Pogba, and there's 4 Barcelona players that Man United could accept in a Paul Pogba swap deal. That's Fati, Griezmann, Ousmane Dembele and Lenglet. I said if Pogba leaves Man United, there's a very, very good chance he'll go back to Juventus because he did enjoy 4 good years with them before he rejoined Man United. Juventus have obviously been keen on a Paul Pogba swap deal. It said not so long ago they was willing to offer us Paulo Dybala in exchange for Pogba, and they was willing to offload Rabiot and Ramsey to get the money to afford Pogba. But Fabrizio Romano did say that Juventus are refusing to give up on re-signing Pogba, but not so long ago it said that Juventus had told Paul Pogba's agent Mino Raiola they cannot afford him. So reflecting on that, he said he won't be making a return to Juventus. We could still offer Paul Pogba a new contract. Paul Pogba's current contract expires next year because earlier on this season we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with the club until June 2022. And all he said earlier on this season, he hopes that Pogba will stay and he hopes he'll sign a new contract. We've been getting the best out of Pogba in recent months. He did start against Granada, but I thought he was very, very anonymous against Granada, surprisingly. I'm not too keen on Pogba in that deeper role. I prefer him in more of an advanced role because that's where he's more effective. Pogba's got an injury now. He was out with a thigh injury earlier on this season. He was out with an ankle injury at the first part of this season. And he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. So he has become a bit injury prone. Nemanja Matic, we could also offload him in the summer transfer window because he isn't one of our first choice midfielders. Phil Jones, I'm also expecting him to leave. Will we offload Eric Bailly? David De Gea, he could still leave in the summer transfer window as well. Like I say, in the last 8 years, it's been an ongoing cycle of inconsistency at Man United. Obviously, a lot of United fans predicted when Ferguson retired it was all going to go downhill, which it has done. I think mistakes have been made in the last 8 years, and that's one of the main explanations why we've been inconsistent. 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson retired. You know, we sacked David Moyes after 10 months. He's the worst manager we've ever had. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning 3 trophies, if you want to include the Community Shield. The board's been one of the biggest problems at the club for a long time. You know, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also overpaid for players. And in general, the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired haven't got the players they wanted to recommend in. But no one is going to do what Ferguson did at the club. You know, Ferguson enjoyed what a 26-27 year tenure. Won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles. So he brought success to the club, but he didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. Good job he didn't get sacked any time in that 4-year period, or wouldn't have hardly had any success. Or probably none, in fact, wouldn't have had any success. You know, before Ferguson was inconsistent because we weren't good under Ron Atkinson, we weren't good under Wilf McGuinness, and we certainly weren't good under Franco Farrell. We got relegated under Franco Farrell back in 1974. So yeah, like I've already said earlier on in the video, next video I'll give you an update on some more transfer news. Starting 11 prediction as well will be coming up for the game against Tottenham, and also my reaction to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference. So anyway guys, that's everything to update with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.